Have you ever imagined a city of the future? A utopian society with every aspect running smoothly and green energy powering the city? Well, this might not stay a dream for too long. There have been different ideas of what future cities would look like, and in our time, we have seen islands raised over bodies of water. We have seen uniquely organized cities worldwide, but none of them has blown our imaginations into the future. Saudi Arabia might be doing something about that. What kind of city is Saudi Arabia planning? Stick around and find out. Before we continue, leave us a like and follow this channel for more videos on tech like this. Saudi Arabia is building a city to house 9 million residents, and the city is supposed to be green and eco-friendly. It will run on renewable energy sources. The city is part of a new larger city called NEOM. But what birthed the idea? The world over has been going through various environmental crises, and while various solutions have been presented from various quarters, Saudi Arabia is coming up with something different. We cannot ignore the livability and environmental crisis facing our world cities, and NEOM is at the forefront of delivering new and imaginative solutions to address these issues, said bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. NEOM is leading a team of the brightest minds in architecture, engineering, and construction to make the idea of building upwards a reality. But what is so special about the line? The line is part of the NEOM project, a massive concept. According to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's announcement, the proposed futuristic city will be built northwest of the Gulf Kingdom, near the Red Sea, and will take years to complete. The line is a projected vertical metropolis measuring 200 meters wide, or 656 feet, and rising 500 meters, or 1,640 feet above sea level. According to the press release, it will cover 34 square kilometers, 13 square miles. Upon its completion, it would be the 5th tallest structure on the planet, and by far the widest. At its launch last year, the Crown Prince noted that the line is a move to create an urban solution that will revolutionize the housing industry. In his words, "At the line's launch last year, we committed to a civilization revolution that puts humans first based on a radical change in urban planning." The project's promotional material revealed that the entire city would be enclosed in a mirror-encased wall that would reflect light and the surrounding environment. The Saudi Arabian government said the project will have an outer mirror facade that will provide its unique character and allow even its small footprint to blend with nature. At the same time, the interior will be built to create extraordinary experiences and magical moments. Many economists, scientists, architects, and analysts doubt how executable this project is, but more on this later in the video. In response to most critics, there have been revamps to the original concept designs in 2017, and Saudi Arabia is staking a large portion of the development of this project on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will be very important in maintaining the lives of the 9 million inhabitants of the 200-meter wide and 500-meter tall building. The operation of a carbon-neutral, car-free bubble with a controlled microclimate and nearly 100% sustainability would be aided by artificial intelligence. Multimedia presentations have spiced up the initial project, creating media images and photos that make the city look more like an image pulled out of a Star Trek series. According to project planners, residents will enjoy all daily needs within 5 minutes of any distance. All this with added perks like outdoor skiing facilities and high-speed rails, which are touted to be able to traverse the entire length of the city in 20 minutes. The city is a step towards achieving Saudi Arabia's pledge to achieve zero carbon emissions by 2060. An ambitious rebranding initiative known as Vision 2030, spearheaded by the Crown Prince and other key players in the nation, seeks to make Saudi Arabia as attractive as Dubai and Abu Dhabi as a tourist destination while also restructuring the economy. The line is part of this strategy. An estimated $100 billion in additional revenue is expected due to the projected spike in tourism. There are projections of about 100 million tourists after the project is completed. Saudi Arabia also wants to stamp its footprint in history with a landmark project that would rival the pyramids in its neighboring Egypt. It is not a hidden fact that one of the main purposes of this project is to diversify the earnings of the Saudi government from being overly reliant on the oil proceeds. Even though NEOM will function under its own establishing statute, which is still in the process of being formulated, Saudi officials have stated that they do not intend to lift the alcohol ban that is now in place in the country. His efforts to convert the kingdom from an oil-dependent economy and a traditional society, which he believes is ill-served to propel the country forward, are centered on Prince Mohammed's vision for modern life. NEOM was created partly as a break from tradition and the rigidity of the 4 decades before it. During those 4 decades, leaders doubled down on a strict interpretation of Islam to keep society's rigid standards. Then comes funding. The project, in its first phase, is set to gulp about 1.2 trillion Saudi riyals, which is about 265 billion euros. This first phase is to last until 2030. The prince would be relying on government subsidies, contributions, and participation from the private sector, and the city of NEOM will have an initial public offering sometime in 2024 to further fund the project. There was an initial plan to complete parts of the project by 2020, with further expansions projected for 2025. As it stands, though, the project is currently behind schedule. In total, the estimated cost for the project is upwards of $500 billion. There have been a few objections and critics of the project, as well as the Saudi government. Carlos Felipe Pardo, a senior advisor to the New Urban Mobility Alliance, has much to say concerning the ongoing project. First, he notes, "This solution is a little bit like wanting to live on Mars because things on Earth are very messy." He recognizes that this is not the first attempt to create a new city as a solution to urban problems. And India's Chandigarh to Malaysia's Putrajaya and Masdar City in Abu Dhabi, all of which, in his opinion, offered no lasting solutions. He further noted that as much as the line would tackle some environmental and urban problems head-on, it would also be plagued with new sets of problems which might be more difficult to manage. Projects like this might work for a while, but they still do not address existing problems for people in other parts of the world. Pardo is concerned about the high-tech approach of the line's designs because they seem to disregard people's need to go outside and experience a city that isn't man-made. This seems impossible, greatly limited, or just plain artificial. He doesn't end his objections in total disregard, though. I'm sure several characteristics of this design could be integrated into existing cities, and it would be great to have a way of doing so. Other online critics of the project stated their opinions. "This just seems hilariously unfeasible," said Roquino. "I don't think a 170-kilometer-long mirrored monolith can ever blend with nature, and any sustainability benefits would be negated by the colossal carbon emissions of actually building this," the reader continued. Patrick Nilsson wrote, "An unbelievable megastructure. It looks like pure sci-fi if it ever gets built." There have also been complaints with regard to human rights violations on the part of the Saudi Arabian government. An example of this operation in Turkey that ended with the gruesome killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi by Saudi agents, which the US believes the Crown Prince had a hand in. There are also issues regarding the proxy war taking place in Yemen against Iran, where a lot of human rights violations have taken place. There is also the issue of the execution of 81 men in March, the biggest mass execution in decades. Then there are also rumors as to the treatment of migrant workers in the country, as labor laws are lax and violations of the rights of migrants persist. These violations might affect the reception of the West to the new city being built by Saudi Arabia. All these noted deadlines are looming. Executing the project is no small task. With little access to the site and only 8 years left before residents are meant to move in, it's a lot to take on trust, said one consultant who works closely with the Saudi government. And then there's the inertia in the system. It's hard to excise that. The line is just one out of a series of audacious projects that would be carried out in the city of NEOM. Others include the NEOM Bay, the NEOM Bay Airport, the NEOM Industrial City, Oxagon, Trojena, and others. Would you love to live in this high-tech city? Do you think the Saudi Arabian government will be able to complete the project within its time limit? Let us know your thoughts about the line in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a like and follow, and hit the notification bell to get updates on more tech-related content like this.